Hey guys, so here's my Walking Dead recap review. The show may still be on because they're doing some odd, weird, sort of extended episode. I watched it without commercials when I saw it for the first time, and it was literally 45 minutes long without commercials. So that gives you an idea of how many commercials they're cramming in here, because they've got at least 15, if not 20 minutes of commercials that they're putting in. And I know everybody hates them. I know that people get really annoyed at the commercials, and so do I. I'm lucky because I get streaming links that I can use as a reviewer, and that helps me out on that regard. But so, this was the finale of season 9, which is probably one of the most batshit sort of, I guess, good word would be schizophrenic seasons of The Walking Dead that's been in a while. This one did a massive time jump. Remember what seems like a long time ago when Rick Grimes died on the show, which we knew wasn't going to happen. And then suddenly we jumped like 9 years, 8 years or something into the future. And we have grown up Judith and baby RJ, which, hey, we finally saw RJ in this episode. Oh my God. Remember RJ? Rick Jr.? That happened. There he was. Who's taking care of him? Who knows? Because Michonne's never there for him. So basically, this is my my moment to talk to The Walking Dead itself, because we have to talk. Walking Dead, you've been making some bad decisions lately, and I think you might need a little bit of help. You're using that nasty drug time jumps way too much, and I think that might be part of the problem. For example, why is Michonne so pissed suddenly? Oh, let's flash back to psychotic kids to show you why. So yeah, you have a time jump back, and then a time jump now. And at the end of the season, we have what I guess is another time jump, because suddenly it's winter, because winter is coming. Anyway, we'll get to that. So first, you killed off Chandler Riggs as Carl for some reason. Back scene stuff, probably, who knows? Just a bizarre thing that you did. You killed off one of the original characters and a fan favorite who is still alive in the comics, by the way. They just decided to do this. And then you gave his plot line to Henry, a character you decided to fast age, and we had no real time to get to know as a teenager like we did Carl, who we grew up with. Carl grew up with us. We watched him grow and age and become a man. And, we didn't do that with Henry. We really didn't care that much about Henry. Henry was sort of just suddenly there. As a little kid, he was interesting because he'd been through a lot. He was dealing with a lot of issues, but then suddenly you decided to, oh, screw this. We're going to jump ahead 9 years and we're going to make him this angsty, annoying teenager that you don't really know. So yeah, that was a great decision. And then you forced this uber sweetened teen angst love affair on us with Henry and with Lydia, who it didn't work. At least for me personally, I didn't like it, because what made that twisted thing in the comics so interesting between Carl and Lydia, there was some really twisted stuff. It was bizarre. It fit a zombie apocalypse scenario like we're living in within this show. It made sense. And instead, we got this weird, angsty, I just met you, but call me baby. Within 24 hours, he's smitten because he couldn't get the girl he wanted, who was Enid. So we'll take this one because, hey, she's my age. And she doesn't wear glasses. So anyway, you forced that on us. You made us have to deal with that. No one really liked it. I didn't like it. It felt forced. it made no sense that they would suddenly become this thing, and then, he would risk his life for her. After being raised by Carol and Ezekiel, would he be that stupid? I don't think so, but what the shit? So, you decided to cram like a bunch of seasons worth of, look, you should care about these characters on us. And it just, you know, I really don't get that, because you time jump for some reason to this. And who you decided to cram in there to make us care about were characters that you've had multiple seasons to make us care about. In a half a season, you tried to cram in stuff to make us care about Tara, care about Enid, care about Henry, and then for shits and giggles, you add in random blacksmith family, and then you have Jesus killed off, who was one of the most interesting characters. We'll get to that. But then you proceeded to kill them in what should have really been the season finale, but wasn't really interesting at all, because I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, good, that's not the guy I like. Oh, good, that's not the girl I like. Oh, good. Oh, thank God, they're all dead. Thank you, Walking Dead. But what pisses me off about it is this is a moment in the comics that I was waiting to have happen, as were a lot of other people that have read the comics. And it was a moment where, instead of being horrified and saddened and freaked out, half of those people I didn't even know. The highwaymen, who looked like interesting guys, you killed them off within, like, what, 2-3 episodes? You killed off rando redheaded girl. You killed off Enid, who I never really cared for, and no one really, I don't think, did. Maybe they did, but I really never got to know her that well. She was a doctor. Mm. And then, Henry, oh, sad. I never really got to know you, Henry. And Tara, who no one really cared about because nothing was ever really done with her. You gave her a whole episode, and it was one of the most bland, uninteresting things I've seen. No one cared about Tara. I'm sorry. No one really did. And we were supposed to think, oh, yeah, she's going to take over from Jesus and be a badass. But so this moment that was so massive in the comics, of the heads on sticks and Alpha showing her psychotic side and, being, horrified by it, we're just kind of like, oh, good, they got rid of the annoying characters. And that's a real thing. I'm not the only one to think that when that happened. So it wasn't a big loss, but, Walking Dead, really? So when that all happened, that should have been a finale, but instead we get this episode that you kind of piggybacked on Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones is starting in like 2 weeks, and everybody's like, winter's coming. Well, I guess they decided winter's coming to The Walking Dead. They actually use that tagline on some stuff. I've seen it. And we time jumped to winter, because remember, it was like a spring festival that we were having for the fair, and now we've got winter suddenly, because we have to have a plot device to cause, tension, because we've already shot our load with the big reveal of the heads on sticks that no one really cares about. So we have this whole drama with the winter storm, and people are having to leave. Let's cram in the fall of the kingdom. The fall of the kingdom is a major thing in the comics, and here it looks like it's because pipes didn't hold up and their infrastructure fell, and they had no heating, and their pipes were rupturing and something. We don't really see anything why this happened. And if all these communities were coming together like we were left to believe because of the fair, why would they allow the kingdom to become such a shithole all of a sudden? Because I'm guessing all of a sudden, we time jumped. I don't know the hell. I don't know how many months or a year or whatever happened, because Walking Dead just decides to jump around, jump around for no reason. So I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know why. So anyway, now we're, Jesus was wasted, much like the time we've had with this show. He's gone. Tom Payne is happy to be gone. He said as much. He's like, yay, I'm out of here because you're not letting me do my thing. So we were left for half the season with characters no one really gave crap about. Now they're gone. Yay, that's a good thing. Nice movement. We are with that. But now, with the fall of the kingdom, which was pipes bursting and fires that we never saw, the one power couple that we still have that are still together is Ezekiel and Carol. And yay, I love Ezekiel. Ezekiel's still around. Ezekiel is not in the comics. This is one thing I really appreciated that they did different, was that they kept him alive. And the reason for that is pretty self-explanatory and simple if you watch the show. You need that character because there's really no other leaders like Ezekiel. He's like this bastion of hope that we were supposed to have with Rick and Carl, but we don't have either of them anymore. So we've got Ezekiel. Now we're trying for some reason to force Daryl into all of these parts. Daryl suddenly this season, we're cramming him into everything. Literally everything. Scenes from the comic that had to do with other characters that we no longer have because we've killed them off. We're putting Daryl in. Daryl's a character owned by AMC. Daryl's not in the comic. They can do anything they want with Daryl. So we know Daryl is safe because Daryl's a popular character and Daryl's owned by AMC. Truth bomb. So Daryl's probably not going anywhere anytime soon at all. So suddenly, with all of these changes and all these characters leaving, we're going to cram Daryl in as much as possible and have him in spots that were all, in the comic happened to other people. So that's happening. Ezekiel and Carol are still around. My peeps. Oh no, they aren't. For some reason at this point, they have broken up Ezekiel and Carol for no reason. It makes no sense that Carol would leave Ezekiel, who is now going to the hilltop and is with his people in a place that he has not been, who he was a leader at another location, is now, I guess, the de facto leader of the hilltop. Why? Why is that happening? Makes no sense. So Ezekiel is now the de facto leader of the hilltop, I guess, which may be Kingtop if Jerry gets his way. God, I hope they don't do that. Hashtag no Kingtop. So Carol decides she's going to leave Ezekiel at Hilltop and go to Alexandria. Why? Because Daryl and Lydia are going there? Did Carol bond with Lydia that quickly in that one scene they've had together? See, now here's the thing that bums me out. I wanted Carol and Lydia to kind of bond. I wanted something to happen there because I think it would be really neat to see a survivor like Carol who became a badass, mentor an abuse survivor like Lydia, make her interesting, make these two bond. She lost her daughter before. She lost her son now. This girl needs a mother that will actually be loving and caring. Here's Carol. Here's Ezekiel, who is a father figure. No, we're not going to do that. No, we're going to break up Ezekiel and Carol for some shitty reason and make her go to Alexandria because Daryl's going or something. And I guess Lydia's going there. They don't really tell us, do they? They don't really go into that. And why would she take off her freaking ring? What the hell, man? He's been nothing but awesome. Why? Oh, Ezekiel, you deserve so much better. I don't know. Why are you doing this to my Carol? I don't get it. This is just weird. But at least they didn't kill Ezekiel, I guess. So within that, also, as I said, Daryl, what the hell are you doing, man? What is going on? Why is that? Where was that moment with Ezekiel and Daryl? Why would he be like, go F yourself, Daryl, go, we need my time with Carol. Was that because of Lydia, or was that because he saw Daryl and Carol kind of being buddy-buddy? Is this jealousy? Holy shit. What? Where is this coming from? That makes no sense. Are you cramming in drama that doesn't need to be there, Walking Dead? You've done it before. So I'm sure we're going to have another time jump in the next season that's most likely going to do some crap with that. Oh my God. And I just saw I have text. Hello people that are watching and talking. I am so sorry. I just saw you texting. Everyone, if you're still here, thank you for listening. So let me go on because I have to get this out. I'm angry. So we've got that happening. Lydia and Daryl are at the hilltop now. They get there, and I'm sure, like I said, there's probably going to be another freaking time jump that's going to happen. And I don't thank you, Jeff. I don't know why they would want to do that, but they're probably going to. God, I hope they aren't doing something stupid like having Daryl and Carol end up together, because oh, come on, man. So is Connie and Daryl still a thing? What happened there? You notice we had that weird time jump, and I was like, what the shit, Connie? Why did you lose the dog? You were supposed to take care of the dog. Now Judith is having to find the dog because she was taking care of the dog and lost. See how they didn't? What? The dog is important. The dog needs to live. The dog better not fucking die. So anyway, I'm done ranting about the dog. Maybe. So I don't get it. They had this whole thing with Connie and Daryl. And yes, epic zombie killer. Yes. Dog needs to live. And if the dog doesn't live, we riot. So Connie and Daryl supposed to be a thing. Yeah, the dog's named Dog, which is fantastic. It's totally a Daryl thing to do. Connie and Daryl was supposed to be a thing, which I don't really get, because I kind of like it, but at the same time, it's like, you're going to put the two characters together that don't really talk at all. Daryl kind of, that's half of Daryl's, lines within a season. So yeah, that I don't get it. I don't get it. Now Connie's gone. I don't know what's happening. That was supposed to be a thing. The internet really liked that Daryl was finally having like a relationship of some sort. At least he kind of smirked at her and smiled and watched her walk away. So that's Daryl being like, I like her, whatever. So, I know everybody's really excited about the radio crackle. I'll get to that. I have to talk about Negan right now, because Negan, I love you. Negan is the best thing in this show right now. And I honestly, now, Alex, thank you. One of the things is that Daryl never has a relationship, and I think that is why he's such a popular character for ladies, because they're like, I can have him, I can make him happy, I can break that mold, I can break through. But but Negan is Jeff. You put Megan. Your autocorrect is your enemy. So that's the thing I think with Daryl, is that women think I can break that, I can get in there. Long time ago, if you go back to one of the early days of Fangirl Radio, I had Norman Reedus on my show, and we had talked about Daryl and his mystique and why people love him and why women are attracted to him and things like that. And it was an interesting conversation, because he was all about the fact that Daryl wouldn't know what to do with a girl in terms of like anything, really. He's so backwards and insulated and never has had anything like that. So he was laughing about the fact that women all think that he'd be the kind that would throw him up against the truck and have his way. And yeah, baby, Daryl can skin a raccoon. But his fact is, it would be like over in 15 seconds and he wouldn't know what he did. And it wouldn't even, yeah. So that's the thing with Daryl. I kind of don't want him to have a relationship, but I kind of do, just to see how they play it, as long as they played it like that, which is what I think Daryl would be like. So anyway, back to Negan. We'll get to the radio, I promise. I promise. So with Negan, I really loved his scene with Michonne. I love the fact that Negan took off to save Judith. No one else seemed to frickin' do it. And I love that he loves her because he was a PE teacher and loved kids. And Judith has been like his, he loved Carl, and within Judith, he sees Carl. I think he feels that he needs to be there for Judith because Carl's not and Rick's gone. And I really love that. I love that they're showing that side to Jeffrey D. Morgan and Negan. And I love the fact how he reacts with Judith. It's really awesome. And the other thing is, we already know that that Judith and Negan, but the fact that Jeffrey D. Morgan loves dogs. So this was so great. Yeah, unfortunately, Michonne is leaving. She's leaving next season. But the good news is she's going to hook up with Rick again, because I've heard that she is going to be in the Rick movies. Which means, again, is Judith and poor little RJ going to be abandoned again by mom and dad? Which it sounds like that's why I'm thinking they're really grooming Negan to become the caregiver for Judith and possibly RJ. Poor RJ is sort of like that random purse thing. But anyway, I love Jeffrey D. Morgan. He deserves better. He deserves more. But I have to tell you, I really, really enjoyed that scene with him. Right. That's where I was going, Jeff. Thank you. I really love that scene because you could see that, he's like trying to get her convinced, not everybody thinks they don't think they're the bad guy. And there's a really, Epic Zombie Killer just said that there is a theory that RJ isn't real. Oh my God. Really? I hadn't heard that one. That's kind of nuts. But the movies are soon. I think they're going to be they're going to be filming them. I think probably next year, possibly at the end of next season. That I would think. But I really love that scene again, like I said, with Negan and Michonne, where she's making she's sort of getting the point that this world kind of makes you have to be, a survivor. And so once again, Shane was right. Yeah, I think next year, they have to film them. I'm guessing they're probably gonna, with her exit, is gonna be like the bridge to the movies. But here's the thing that I have a problem with that scene, because then they flip over to Alpha coming back from her break, which they went on a break. What did all of the Whisperers go on a vacation to where? Florida? So anyway, they said that yeah, Shane is always my favorite. His hair was fantastic. Alpha went to Florida. That's what I said. Yeah, Alpha is a snowbird and went to Florida. So they flipped to that with her being a psychopath and a lunatic getting whipped. And I'm like, well, I don't think there's any redeemable qualities in her. I think that's a bad guy, which was interesting. I don't know. It was very strange. But really the thing that my point is, I guess, as I ramble on here, Lydia was a freak in the comics, man. I kind of like Freak Lydia more than this one. Freak Lydia was cool. Um, so nothing really happened in this finale. We really didn't have anything happen. It would have been made more sense for last week's episode to be the finale. This just seemed really tacked on and unnecessary. Like, here, we're going to cram in a little bit more. We're going to cram in a little bit more for you, and get a little bit more commercials in because we can. What? Yeah, it would have made more sense to switch it up. And I don't know why they did it this way. I think the Horde is going to be interesting. I hope we have a battle royale next season involving the Horde. But the problem I'm seeing right now is there's a lot of people not happy with what the show's doing. And this was their finale that was fairly boring. That I don't know how many people are going to like, it's still one of the highest rated shows on TV, but because of what they're doing, they're not keeping a lot of viewers. Yeah, I thought that we would get the Horde. I hoped we'd get the Horde. I did not expect Thunderwalk and Tiptoe Over the Ice. I'm so shook of Carol not being a badass. Okay, so here, let's get to the radio because a lot of people are asking about that. I wanted Horde. I agree. I wanted zombie Horde and craziness. I feel like it was rushed. I'm sticking with it because I love the cast. I love Greg Nicotero. I love the show. It just makes me sad that there could have been so much here, especially with the Whispers. The Whispers are awesome, but this is just not what they should be doing with it. The time jumping and cramming of unwanted character development and characters that you could have had us interested in long ago makes no sense. I honestly don't know if Carol's going to be the one to kill her because in the comics, Negan takes her out. But it would be the most epic effing fight if Carol and Alpha fought. Oh my God. And then you could have Negan take on Omega, and that would be awesome. So yeah, or Beta. I keep calling him Omega. It's Beta. I'm getting my dollhouse in my Walking Dead, and that won't work. But yeah, Beta and Alpha versus Negan and Carol. Holy shit. Okay, radio. Sorry. So the radio, I honestly think so in the comics right now, or just recently, there was a group, another female character that oh gosh, I'm blanking on her name right now. Sorry, this is totally live, so I'm kind of blanking on her name, and I don't really have any notes on this part. But I think it's this group. There's a group I believe it's in Washington, D.C. Or actually, I'm sorry, it's actually in Ohio. There's a group in Ohio because Ohio, and they're not related to Whorehound. But I don't know if it was Maggie. It might be. I think, though, I'm with Epic Zombie Killer. I'm thinking it was Jadis. Because, yeah, the Commonwealth. Thank you, Epic Zombie Killer. Thank you for reminding me. So I think it's Jadis, and I think she's connected to the Commonwealth now. And it sounded like Pollyanna McIntosh. Because I heard that little bit, there was a little bit of a weird accent. It wasn't Rick, it was definitely a woman. And I'm thinking it was Jadis. And I think it's she is connected either to the Commonwealth or they ran into the Commonwealth. So I honestly thought they might show a little snippet of Rick, but they didn't. But I honestly think that on the radio, it was Pollyanna McIntosh and it was Jadis. So I don't think Maggie yet. I know Maggie's going to have her spinoff, supposedly, even though Lauren Cohan has got a TV series right now that she's a star in and it's doing really well. But I honestly think it was Jadis. Yeah, the Fear the Walking Dead season 5. Yeah, because well, if you guys did you guys see they released the new season for Fear the Walking Dead's trailer and Dwight's in it at the tail end. He looks bad. He looks rough. I don't know where Dwight's been going on. But they did show that today. They released it at WonderCon and it hit the online. So that's definitely Dwight's coming over to Fear the Walking Dead because they keep killing off the good characters too. Although John Dory's still alive, god damn it, and they better not kill my cowboy. So I guess in closing, I would say that this was a really at least for me, I know some people liked it, but at least for me, this was a really disappointing finale and a disappointing season for Walking Dead. It had so much going for it with the Whisperer storyline. And yeah, if John dies, we riot. God damn it. Yes. I actually talked to Garrett Dillahunt at Horror Hound Weekend, and I told him, I just looked at him and I said, don't die. And he gave me a heart attack because he's like, well, this is a rough show and I can't do it forever. It's really rough. And I looked at him like I was going to cry. Exactly, Jeff. So much potential for a great finale. And he said, it won't happen right away. And I just looked at him and said, just don't die. Just ride off into the sunset on your horse. Find a horse, any horse, and just ride off into the sunset. Just don't die. Yeah, it's this episode, Mr. Adrian, really nothing happened. Nothing happened. You could have actually skipped this entire episode and it would be fine because it didn't really have anything happen, and they're gonna skip time again, and you know it's gonna happen. I think Michonne, like I said, it's gonna be that Commonwealth storyline may happen, and I think we're gonna get that towards the tail end. I think honestly, this is what I think is going to happen next season, and it really sucks if this is the case because I think that the Whispers really needs a full entire season itself. There was crackling voice on a radio. Yeah, I want to see. We have a Negan too. Mr. Adrian, there was a crackling voice on the radio. It wasn't Rick's voice. It was a woman. And I think it was Jadis. They heard a radio signal coming through. Well, and what I think is going to happen is half of next season is going to be the Whispers and the war. And then they're going to cut that in half, like I said. And then the second half of the season is going to be possibly setting up the Commonwealth, and it's going to be Michonne leaving because Jadis and Rick are going to reappear somehow within that, and that's how she's going to go off the show. So I think Michonne's going to leave at the end of the season, next season with that, and then that's going to lead into the Rick movies. So that's what I think is going to happen. We'll see if I'm right. I'm pretty 100% sure that was Jadis on the radio. It sounded like her voice. So yeah, that basically Rick's going to have his own movies, and we have to wait until October again. So yeah, Halloween as always, Halloween week or so. Basically is anybody out there? And that's how the episode ended. It could have been really good. There was some really great things. But it just too much, like I said, too much time jumping, too much of a rush. I did love Rick's finale episode. I cried so hard when Scott Wilson showed up on screen. But overall, for this season, Beta I don't think has been shown without his mask. Angela King did a good job considering where the show was when she took over, but it feels like they're still filling it out. I hope next season they've got it straight. They've got it figured out. And I want them to give the Whispers more of their due. But Beta, no, I don't think he has been seen without his mask yet. Overall, this season, I would give it a C plus. C plus. Um, just I'm just really annoyed by how they just sort of wasted characters and wasted time. I don't like the time jump thing. I'm really tired of that. It's a cheap out to rush a story. So yeah. What is my favorite season? My favorite season. Oh boy. Man, I really like the one where Carol and the kids. What season was that? Carol and the little girls. That was a great season. God, Melissa McBride nailed that. Melissa McBride really nailed that season. That was the one with oh shoot, the one with Denise Crosby. I really liked that one with the cannibal people. That was good. It's interesting. It was interesting. One was great. One had John Bernthal, and I love. Yeah, I love the one. I love episodes, not whole seasons. I love Rick ripping a throat open with his own teeth. That was fantastic. But yeah, so I don't love entire seasons, although one was great. But I think season 5 had the cannibals. Yeah, I really liked that. I thought that was really good and creepy. So yeah, there was a time jump. Terminus. Thank you, Mr. Adrian. Yeah, that was fantastic. But yeah, so guys, thank you. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know. I will try to do these more and more. As if you want, I can do these for Fear the Walking Dead. I can do these for American Gods too, which is a fantastic show. If you're not watching that, that's really, really good. I think The Walking Dead will go as long as AMC lets it go. That AMC will keep this going. They're invested now because they are making movies and everything else. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Godly. Thank you. I just try to be honest about it because I really, really love this show. And when I feel like it's doing itself a disservice, yeah, Daryl's definitely their cash cow because they own him outright. They do. And I own a wallet of Daryl's poncho. They actually made a wallet with the poncho design. No one else remembers the poncho but me, but Daryl's poncho is my wallet. So yeah, if you guys love it, let me know. I'll keep doing them. And I really, really thank you guys for joining me. This was fantastic. I love interacting with you guys and talking to you. And yes, people love the poncho. Yes, poncho for life. Poncho for life. So thank you guys again. And next week we won't have it. It won't be on till October. But if you guys want, we'll do this for Fear the Walking Dead. And I will be back for that. So thank you again. Check out Horror Hound's new issue right here. I am right for Horror Hound magazine. If you guys didn't know, the dog better live. The dog better just live. Period. Not till season 12, but forever. Oh, thanks, Jeff. Thank you for being for having me be your first YouTube chat. This is the new issue of Horror Hound. I wrote the Pet Cemetery article, Hellboy article, and The Curse of Little Lorna. So check this out. This is really cool. And thank you so much. Thank you. You guys rock. And I will see you next week for another chat. And I'll send out links if we do this again. And it sounds like you guys love it. So I will be back. Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye.